my colleague Ben, who is an intellectual property lawyer, will explain the topic of trademarks. This again is something that surrounds us in our everyday lives. So Ben, what is a trademark really?
Well, a trademark is a principle, a sign that is meant to distinguish your company or you as a person from any other company. I would always recommend that you register your trademark because then you have proof, it's in the registry and it says this is your trademark.
So tell us more. Can everything be registered as a trademark?
In principle, yes. So you can register a word, a figurative element, a logo, a sound, but it can't be descriptive. So it needs to be distinctive for the goods and services that you apply for. Just as long as it's not descriptive. So i.e. it can't describe the goods and services that you apply for. So to give you an example, coffee, for the product coffee would never work because it is just what it says it is. But if you register coffee for clothes, for example, that word doesn't say anything about the goods. So that should work just fine. And that brings me to a point that is very important when you talk about trademarks, that it's always protected for the goods and services that you have applied for. So if you register a trademark, you can't say that you have a sole right to that name just because you have a trademark. You have a sole right to it for the goods and services that you have applied for. In principle, you can have two identical trademarks registered at the same time for different goods and services. So you can own a trademark for coffee, for example, and I can do it for coffee. You're registered for clothes. I might register my trademark for, I don't know, paint, and that could work perfectly fine.
Let me just go back to something you said in the beginning. You said that you can keep a trademark for as long as you want. Is that true?
Yeah, in principle it is, just as long as you kind of renew it. So every 10 years, you have to renew it. You can't just register a trademark and leave it on the shelf. You actually need to use it. If you don't, third parties can kind of question why you register it. The more you use your brand, the more well-known you become. And sometimes you become so well-known that your brand actually becomes the name of that product. So some brands become generic because they become the name of that product. Take aspirin, for example, for pain relief. That used to be a brand, but today, at least for pain relief products, it's just a name of a product.
Why should we register a trademark? I know that you mentioned that it is a way for business or person to distinguish itself from others, but are there any other benefits?
The building of your brand or creating awareness of your brand also give extra value to it. So if you think about take burgers, hamburgers, yeah? There's a reason why you go to one hamburger place than another. So with your brand, you build a value to your product that you can either license out in form of a franchise, maybe, but then it can also create an extra value of quality. So you perceive the public perceive your trademark as giving the product an extra value in form of a quality stamp, if you want to. Yeah? It gives you obligations. You need to use it. You need to protect it. You need to make sure that no one is using it right. But those are all good kind of obligations. It also creates, well, going back to the value. So the more protective you are of your right, the more value you build to that brand.
Is it expensive?
If you register a trademark within the EU IPO, it will cost you 850 euros. Give you protection in one class, but gives you protection for 10 years. So split that up, it's 85 euros per year. For me, that for a business, that's not a big expense. And if you compare that to potential loss or potential damage that a third party can create if you haven't registered your right, I think it's fairly cheap. Yeah? Make sure to protect it. Make sure it distinguishes you from others.
Thank you, Ben, for this informative but short introduction to the world of trademarks.
Thank you.